I'd say at the beginning of my career, niche and specialty was never turning down any lead. It doesn't matter the price point, the commission, just hustling, 7 days a week. It was a very easy transition because, well, for me, because I went from making nothing because I was in college and I had nothing,
Right.
and I had very low expectations, and so I didn't have a family to support. I didn't have fixed expenses. I didn't have car payments. I just had to learn an industry, and so everything was like a bonus. So when I had a closing, I was like, wow, I've never seen income like this. It's humbling. You just have to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. You're building a business. It's relationship marketing. You treat the people that you work with well. It's kind of like a product life cycle. It comes back through again. And on that second and third, they're doing buy up, and then you're getting a double dip. You're selling them a home, they're buying a home. And it just kind of grows. I've always felt like the easiest way, easy meaning that you're not, I don't like cold leads. So I never really, there's 12 ways you can pretty much make money in real estate. I've always seen you can do the open houses, you can do for sale by owners, you can do the expired listings, and the latter two I never really was interested in. I don't like dialing for dollars. I'm much better in person, much better with people. And so for me, it was really focusing all of my energy and resources on the people that I've sold homes to. Now, for those starting a business, it's really kind of your sphere of influence, people that you know, friends, members, just different networking groups you may be in, different just other lines of professions, insurance, accountants, closing attorneys, and just really networking well with them. And just staying in touch, I think, is the biggest factor. It's easy to sell a home, but there's not always necessarily that follow-up. And it's not that when I follow up with people that I'm asking them for a lead or asking them for a sale. It's genuinely just to see how they're doing. Now, I didn't do that with every past client. There are some people that we had better, personality mixes, and just you liked them better, and you actually genuinely cared. And it's amazing that if you keep in touch on a consistent basis, so I always did at least once a month, and I still do today with like either a newsletter, a phone call, an email, that it's not always, it's just kind of every action creates reaction. Being passive in real estate is not going to be for long term. You have to be, always in the driver's seat, because we never know where the lead's going to come from. And so obviously a smartphone is going to be, quintessential to today's working. It's availability. It's because everything in real estate happens, off hours. So, after 5 o'clock to the end of the night, it's going to be weekend, it's going to be holidays. It's not real estate is not a 9 to 5 job. And so for someone's expectations to walk in and think, I'm going to just kill this between 9 to 5, you may be moderately successful, but everything happens when, travel, marriage, funerals, all that stuff, that's when your offer comes in. And that's when they expect you to be available. So I can't say there's any one thing that I've done technology-wise other than just having, I guess, up-to-date things like a smartphone and a functional website. One thing that I have started doing, and I think is very useful, especially with social media taking such a larger presence, is actually having people do more testimonial and surveys, doing stuff on kudzu, and just any other forms for that. A great lender that I work with, he does it for every transaction. And so certainly if people Google you, they're going to have lots of things. It's funny, just because I was testing to see what was out there, and I Googled, and one of the reviews was from Alex Natty, who now works at our office. It was when I sold her first home back in like 2004, and it was still right there at the top of Google, and I laughed and I said, I should probably be paid you for this. It's still here today. And I haven't posted many since then, but it's funny because the first, there's nothing negative posted there, but those things go a long way, because of course with the younger generations, they're gonna start checking you out beforehand. They want to know who they're working with, and Google's gonna give them all the accessibility to finding out about you. So good reviews are very good, very well done. So, well, I started with Remax. I'm still with Remax. Helping my business. Well, to me, the business philosophy that was set up of you being your own independent contractor, you're in the driver's seat, you basically get what you put into it. I like the non-hand-holding. Doesn't mean there's not resources available to you, but the big thing is the commission split. It never made sense to me why people will be willing to give 30, 40, 50%, whatever the percentage is, with no ceiling to that, and then looking at it and say, but my desk fees are low, and they pay for the real estate book ad. And I think, well, that's amazing, because the real estate book ad might run you $100 a month, and so you look at $1,200 a year, and you start looking at, once I exceed a certain number of sales, I've bypassed by far anything that RE/MAX would charge me. I know going into it as a small business owner, which you can't do this in any other industry, I'm going to spend probably between $12,000 to $15,000 a year, and RE/MAX fees, printing paper stuff here, and that's it. And I'm going to keep 100% or 99%, whatever, when you came in, of my commission. So I know when I close on it, I'm taking that. That's for me. And I look at all these other people that sit there and say, I've got to split 50% out with my broker, and they do it all year long. But they get the real estate book ad, and that's so wonderful. I mean, oh my God, that ad is going to be so helpful. So that to me was very big. I will say that the quality of brokers, as a general rule, and it's franchise, so you can't speak for all RE/MAXs, but as a general rule, I would say have certainly the knowledge and expertise. This is my second RE/MAX office. The first one I was at, the broker of that office was actually my mentor to start with. And she taught me everything I knew. Didn't teach me any bad tricks, because I didn't have any at the time, so I was able to learn the business. And then segue into Kristen and Megan's office was definitely something that was a new beginning, and it was scary. But there's never a question I haven't asked them that they're not like right on top of it. And and I feel very knowledgeable about this industry, so it's always nice to just have somebody back you up, even if you know the answer, that you can go there for it. So those are great. I know there are a lot of other tools through Lead Street, and I don't get into them as much because I don't have to as much anymore, having done this for a while. But those tools are out there as well, and to me it's funny because you hear the whole, Keller Williams, they've got the Power Hour, and they've got, all these wonderful things, and RE/MAX offers pretty much the same set. They just do it at a discounted price, but not discounted service.